a new lazer update. It's the new year, and some people seem to think that any day now, lazer will replace the stable build of OS completely, and that's not really how things are going. For the foreseeable future, both versions of the game can coexist on a computer, and this change to default apps is making that more practical.
Now, if you have both games installed, you'll basically be able to choose which game you want to open files with. We're using the latest Windows APIs, which means that you can actually see the default apps in the Windows settings page, or you can just right-click, go to open with, and adjust which default you want.
A big reason why lazer isn't straight up replacing stable is that lazer is still missing essential features, ones that stable has had for years. Every update adds more of those familiar features, of course, like your friends are now highlighted on the leaderboards, and you can obsessively stalk top players again.
Notifications for friends coming online finally. Important caveat is that the overlay doesn't yet show updated statuses for friends, but that will come soon.
Lazer's editor is where most of Stable's features are missing, probably because it's the most complex part of the game. Piece by piece, these features are also coming back, like the long-awaited addition of bookmarks. Mappers use these to separate sections of a song, and Lazer brought them back with Stable's shortcuts too. You can also see storyboards in the editor now. The Beat Snap Divisor shortcut was changed from Control-Shift-Scroll to Control-Scroll, matching Stable. You can once again choose distinct backgrounds per difficulty, which has a cool side effect. You can also choose distinct audio files per difficulty. Stable didn't support this. You'd previously have to edit the .osu file. In the timing screen, you can increase the metronome speed by holding Control. This is really useful for precise timing, and as you'd expect coming from Stable, this doubles the speed for common snap divisors, then triples the speed for triplets. Lazer now applies new combos after breaks automatically, and any new combos can finally have their colors manually set. More specifically, the start of the color rotation changes. So if you have like rainbow colors, overriding from blue to red will make the following combo orange, then yellow, and so on. This is how Stable works. But specific to Lazer, whenever the color rotation is manually set, you'll also see the color highlighted on the button.
The combo color override control, traditionally known as color hacks, is really nicely implemented. Spaceman did a great job on that. It all feels very polished compared to how it was in Stable, so I'm very happy with how that one went.
This feature even works when the sidebar is minimized, which, you know, it's pretty cool.
We're continuing to work towards an iOS release. We've added this disclaimer notification the first time you get into iOS, letting you know that the game is kind of like substandard. I want to get the release out as soon as possible, but I also want to prepare people for what they're getting themselves into. That only pops up once, so it's not going to be annoying or anything. The other change for iOS is now you can properly select files from the game, so it'll bring up the native iOS file selector and work for once. The fact that we're going to limit the iOS release to featured artists only, initially at least, has kind of also contributed to changes on the desktop with the ability to store your featured artist preference. It just automatically remembers the state of that filter. It is the only filter which is saved right now, and people have said that they want all the filters to save, and I think we will get those added at a later point.
So what's left to do before an App Store release?
Yeah, it's mostly, I think it's mostly waiting on me. Like, I could push one out today, basically. I've got a backlog of changes from Frenzy, which I need to review, and then it's just going to be doing the final preparations to kind of do the App Store release, all the Apple side requirements to make it happen. I'm just trying to clear out my to-do list of other tasks first before switching to iOS.
I'm sure you already know this. The Relax mod automatically clicks for you. But if you look here, you'll see that it consistently clicks early by apparently 12 milliseconds. Meanwhile in Lazer, it was clicking only 3 milliseconds early, making Relax minutely harder on Lazer than Stable. So now they're consistent. Also, if you use this feature a lot, you'll be happy to know that exiting the song select, then playing the map again will retain your previous play's timing data. This only works if you don't play any other map in between though, so keep that in mind, I guess. Lazer has a new skin element for active mods. This doesn't replace the one in the top right, but it can be useful for stuff like stream overlays. And speaking of skins,
Oh, and that one actually added the ability to rename skins, which is another huge one. I don't really have much to say there, apart from the fact that it's kind of a temporary setup for now. We do have plans to expand out the skin selection into its own screen and give it, the space it deserves, so people can more easily view their skins, preview their skins, and pin favorite skins, that kind of stuff. That'll come in the future.
and we'll end things with multiplayer. A relatively big multiplayer change is on the way, and devs have been polishing up a few related things. Like, there's now a button letting you filter out lobbies where people are currently playing, a visual bug with these star rating indicators was fixed, and Lazer's auto start feature now has a 10 seconds option, in case you're just there to blast through maps or something. As for the upcoming big multiplayer change...
Yeah, I'm reading through them now. Let me just... Hey Smoogie,
Hey.
what state is multiplayer freestyle in right now? Is it reviewable?
Yeah,
Should we push it out in this release, or did you want to
I mean it's done, but I think it still requires server-side validation stuff.
Okay. Maybe next release then.
Got it. I assumed that was going to be the big start of the year feature like PP was last year, but maybe not.
Yeah, so usually at the end of the year we make a push for a specific feature, and we didn't really do that this year. Ephemeral was in Japan, and I discussed with him like the forward direction we're taking on the development path and the tribulations, I guess, that we have with open source development and a small team. So I took a step back and discussed it with Ephemeral and the other devs on the team, and we've made some changes over the last few weeks to how we operate and how we operate as a team, how we manage tasks, manage issues, and I think we'll continue to make changes there. It's part of what I like to do at the end of the year, revisit how we're doing things and make sure we are operating as efficiently as we can. That was a bit of a tangent from what you asked, but... For freestyle. Anyway,